Roger, welcome back.
Great to be back again.
Genius Group is disrupting the current education model. How is your student-centered lifelong learning curriculum redefining education in the 21st century?
Well, we now have over 4 million students all over the world, and we've got several thousand joining pretty much every single day. And what makes us unique compared to other companies out there is we have designed our own curriculum from 0 to 100 years old. So that means that even parents of young kids can be thinking about how they're prepared for the 21st century. We see entrepreneurial skills, investing skills being very important for everyone out there right now. It's what people are looking for as well. So by integrating what people are wanting to learn into an accredited system, together with our university, together with our high school, it gives people an alternative to the current system. And that's our long-term goal as we continue to grow, is that we get remembered for being part of the education revolution that's taking place right now.
How big is the market opportunity, Roger?
Well, the entire lifelong learning market is going to be $10 trillion in size by the year 2030. So if you actually take that pie, about half of it is the entire high school and student primary school market. There is also the university side, which is another 25%. And then the remaining 25% is all corporate training, lifelong learning, and that's continuing to grow as people realize they have to re-educate themselves, especially in today's financial conditions.
Talk to us about your growth strategy. How are you scaling the organization globally, Roger?
So there's three big ways that we do this. The first one is knowing that by our acquisition strategy, where we're acquiring over certified bodies that enable us to be able to actually provide certifications all over the world. And then with that, being able to also be bringing on board EBITDA positive companies. We just had our earnings for 2023 guidance, and we actually are looking right now at getting closer to $50 million in revenues, which is, again, another 30% plus growth from the year before, and doing it with positive EBITDA, which is very unusual. That kind of leads to the second way that we're able to do that, which is that we have student metrics where it's costing us less than $1 per student joining us, and then we're seeing that they're actually spending up to $10 with us. And the reason for that is because we have Edtech, high touch, high tech coming together. We have AI-driven genies that are guiding people on the pathway. We're using VR and introducing that in, so we have our own metaversity, and this gives everyone a gamified way of being able to develop themselves. We even have our GEM credit system, so we're not focusing at student debt, we're focusing at student credit. And the final piece is as a result of us adding to our team and having our partners all over the world, where we have now over 12,000 partners, which is meaning that we have country partners, city partners, localizing this all around the world. Every time we launch a new piece of our curriculum, it can be distributed to everyone around the world that needs it immediately.
The performance, Roger, is truly impressive. I want to focus on your revenue, up nearly 61% in the first 9 months of 2022. Also, the number of students surpassed 4 million, up 65% year over year. What's the cause?
It's really the market demand. I mean, at the end of the day, if you are using the same curriculum as everyone else, then you are really competing with everyone else as well. If you're delivering a new curriculum and someone says, well, where can I go to really learn how to be an entrepreneur, how to connect with entrepreneurs in different countries that are using these same skill sets and these same tools? How do I get in with a team that already understands assessment programs on how to find your passions, your purpose, which are all part of our platform as well? And at the same time, how do I do this in a way that I can bring my family on the journey as well? I don't think there's anyone that would disagree. The current education system does not do enough in actually teaching entrepreneurial skills, technology skills, or even financial literacy skills. And so there is a big gap in the market, which is what we're filling.
Roger, what differentiates Genius Group from other education companies such as Coursera and Udemy?
So the first thing is that those companies, while they currently are larger than us, they don't have their own accredited curriculums. They need to partner with universities where they don't have much of a say of how they can change that curriculum, or they're working together with smaller trainers, educators that don't necessarily have the kind of reach that some of the biggest educators in the world are. If you go to your kids right now, and I'm not just saying to you, I'm saying to everyone who's watching this, and you ask them where they did most of their learning in the last month, I bet you a lot of them would say, well, it's on YouTube, right? Or it's on some social media, it's reading a book, which, like, again, has millions of people following if it's a best-selling book. This is my experience because I was a New York Times bestselling author, and I had over 1 million students, but I wasn't accredited. And so that made it very difficult for people to see my education as part of their core curriculum. It's almost like something they had to do in addition. So by us attracting the top educators in the world, because they're best-selling authors or because they are YouTubers that have huge followings and they do really great work, and seeing that those same people can now have a training program that can be delivered all around the world, that we can deliver certification for trainers in any country as well, that's very unique. And that means for us to get to 100 million students, we just need to have 100 influencers or educators, each that has a following of million, and then be able to fold them into our accredited curriculum. I don't see anyone else out there doing that at the pace that we're doing it right now.
Which takes us now to the management of your team. It's, of course, so important to every company, and especially smaller cap companies. Introduce yourself, Roger, and some of the key players on your team.
Sure. Well, for me, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I'm solving my own problem with this business and now solving it for many others out there that are educators and for the students that actually want to get to that education as well. So I'm the CEO of the company, and I'm in this for the long term. We have got Erez Sima, who is our CFO. He's had experience building multi-billion-dollar businesses and actually taking them also from public through to the next couple of levels of growth that we are now moving into. We have Rav Kaval, who is our CRO, so looking after all of our enrollments, all of our revenues, and finding all of the ways to connect the pieces together. We had a new addition recently I'm very excited about. Her name is Saranjit Sangar. She was the European CEO for a company called Upgrad, which is very similar to Coursera. It's India-based. It also has a multi-billion-dollar valuation. In all these cases, these are companies that have been able to scale to the level that we believe we also are going to be able to scale as well. And so I believe we already have a very, very strong team on board.
Thanks for that, Roger. Tell us, why should investors be looking at your stock right now?
Well, first of all, I hope that everyone can see that if you yourself are caring about the future of education, if you've got kids or you actually have friends that know they have to re-educate, that you can see that we actually are looking to solve what is a very present problem that exists in the world today. So for that reason alone, I hope that for some investors, they'll see that that is a worthwhile reason to come on board. But I think there's a second thing as well, especially for investors, is that we've actually quite recently been quite vocal about the fact that we have been attacked by naked short selling. We got the evidence of it. We've been out in the market sharing this as well, because after we listed the company at $6 a share, we saw that price go right under $1, and we knew that there'd been some issue of market manipulation. We brought lawyers on board. We actually found out exactly what that is, and what that's allowed us to do is now start taking the next steps of action together with our investors to protect ourselves and to grow as well. And I really believe that the future for anyone who comes on board right now and becomes a part of our community is that they can see for the long term this $10 trillion market that we're in, that we have a leadership position. And as long as we keep on building and scaling in a competent way, is going to allow us to be able to get a very significant part of the future market that we are focusing at.
Great story. Thanks for sharing it with us today.
Thank you so much.